Welcome back, everybody, to week 5 small groups of the big picture, the bigger picture. This is exciting, and the conclusion of this 5-week series, and it kind of wraps up the story of Joseph. And so we want to put it in a little bow. We've left Joseph at this great moment of reconciliation with none other than his brothers and his family who tossed him into, what was that word again? Cistern all the way up from week 1, pits, and you get to see some, he had a choice to make, which was the tension that we faced this past week. And yeah, what we're going to really kind of talk about here in our last online small group experience, because stay tuned at the end of the video, big news.
That wasn't necessary, but I mean, yeah, like you said, Joseph has had a whirlwind of a life so far, and wrapping it up fairly nicely with some reconciliation for his family. And you even said, or your bottom line was, when you can't see the bigger picture, choose to forgive. And so as we move into our last online small group, we got a question we want you to answer. So what is one example of a situation where you, a middle schooler, might be tempted to get back at someone? Joseph had that really great opportunity to get back at his family, and he chose not to. But what are some situations that you might experience where you want to get back at someone? So go ahead, pause this video, answer that question, text a friend, text a leader, maybe talk to your family while you're in there. Yeah.
They're going to pause the video?
No, they're not going to pause
You think they're just going to stand there and look at us like this?
Probably, and I think we should make this awkward and leave it in there.
You don't want me to edit it out?
No, not at all. Hey! So, small group, Connor, why do you think people want to get back at someone when they've been hurt or wrong?
I think it's a natural response to want to see someone wronged or to feel hurt, and to have a feeling that needs to be corrected or remedied or resolved. And so, I think it's a natural response for us to actually wanting to do something. And I think a very easily selfish, maybe naive solution is we want to get back at them. We want to pay back what they did to us to them. And so that might be our initial knee-jerk reaction to that solution.
Okay, so how do you think most people think they'll feel once they've gotten back at someone who hurt them?
Vindicated! Triumphant, superior, risen to the top and conquered everyone below the heel of their boots.
Wow.
Right?
Slightly intense. Okay. So how do you think most people will actually feel once they've gotten back?
Yeah. I mean, I do think that we will feel, like it'll make everything better. But we actually end up not feeling that. If experience has taught me anything, especially
you have a lot of experience.
I have loads of experience. Especially, as we kind of talk about, payback isn't something that's swift. Even in Joseph's story, this was years later. And in our own lives, oftentimes we may not have some type of resolution, for hours, days, weeks. And if we're only thinking about payback, that can make bitterness rise up in us, and angst, and I think all of those things are just weights that we would carry around with us. And then should we choose payback, oftentimes it doesn't relieve any of that bad feeling, and then we add guilt or shame on top of that because we know that wasn't the right solution anyway. And so it very rarely makes those bad feelings go away. And then oftentimes it adds things to it. And so that's why I love where we ended up with choosing forgiveness. Because I think forgiveness is a solution. Forgiveness is a way to respond back to someone who has hurt you and wronged you. As we saw in Joseph's story, it is the right way. It's the way that we see from the Bible and his example, and even how we see Jesus' teachings, what they're leading us towards. Because I think ultimately that choosing forgiveness, it does help you and me. Choosing forgiveness helps us because we don't carry the weight of that bitterness around. We're not harboring these bad feelings or thoughts towards someone else. I think choosing forgiveness helps helps your family, because oftentimes when we're carrying that stuff around, it expresses itself and to those closest to us and to those who are around us. And so, then we just end up having bad reactions, and they get just the shrapnel of our explosions that weren't even meant for them.
Yep.
And like, if it's not your family, it's your friends, and so they may be feeling the repercussions of what you're carrying around, unless it's your friends who you really want to get payback on. Which again, choosing forgiveness helps your friendships in that, you're actually leading by example the way in which you want to be treated to your friends. And then I think choosing forgiveness helps your relationship with God, because the underlying current of all of this stuff, I think, comes from having the correct biblical framework of, we are choosing to forgive because we understand that we've been forgiven much by God. Yeah. God could have had various solutions for our sin problem and the mistakes that we've made, and the offenses that we've made towards God and other people, and yet He chose forgiveness. And so when we extend forgiveness, we are really coming to an understanding of how much we've been forgiven. We're also putting our trust in God. We're saying, hey, look, God, I know that you are Lord and Creator and Sustainer and above all things and through all things. And guess what? I'm going to leave this in your hand. And maybe you'll bring retribution or smiting. Maybe you just bring justification. Maybe you bring nothing. Maybe it's silence. And it's just me learning to trust you more as I forgive other people. And so I think choosing forgiveness helps our relationships with God as well.
So Connor, you said a lot of pretty words. They were great. But, I'm the kind of person, they might be the kind of students who need some reinforcements and actual reinforcements. How do we do that?
Wow!
Man, did you eat your Wheaties this
I
morning?
did!
Goodness gracious.
Practical step, and we hope that you've seen this each and every week. Your XP really has been one of those ways that we think is going to be very practical for you. And so this week, it wraps it all up. There'll be an image probably somewhere that if you've not been able to see the bigger picture, boop, this slides in there. Because this week, it's really, when I can't see the bigger picture, I can choose to forgive by, these are 3 small ways I can start showing grace, forgiveness, and peace to those who have hurt or wronged me. These can be blanket statements on how you can choose to do that this week. This is a step I can take to forgive someone who has wronged me. Don't write down the name of who is wrong. Don't just fill in names in this blank of everyone who's wronged you.
So it's not a hit list.
It's not a hit list. It's simply a step you can take to forgive maybe those people. And then this is a person I can talk to who can encourage me towards choosing forgiveness. Lots of you may have a great parent, maybe a mom or dad you're closer to, an older sibling. If you don't have those, we got announcements coming up soon. That's what our small group leaders are for. If you're not connected to a small group leader, so these fresh faces right here are for.
Weirdos.
Hit us up. And yeah, this will slide into, again, that picture, boop, that big picture that we've been working towards this entire 5 weeks of series of the bigger picture.
Can you say big picture just a couple more times?
The big picture of this series, the bigger picture.
The series is called Big Picture.
It's big picture.
Hey, anyway, so that wraps it up for our last online small group. Connor, what is this big announcement that you've just been so pumped up about?
We're back! We are, this Sunday, we've got legit small groups with you.
Same room.
With me, if you're at Segan, with Austin, if you're at LSU, middle schoolers that are watching this, you'll be rolling up to the 10:45 service at whichever location you go to, and we'll see you in person. And masked up. There's a, bring your funnest, favorites, awesomest, Halloween costume mask or whatever you have. But we're back with a brand new series. We're back in person, Austin, but we're not ready to come back, and we're not coming back just yet. Or maybe I'm out of town, so do I just miss out on a youth group now?
Hey, that's a great question. We have been doing these videos all throughout the quote-unquote quarantine, and so these will still be available. All teaching videos are going to drop at 9 a.m. So if you want to do church with mom and dad, if you want to do church with your siblings, you can just go to our YouTube channel. It'll be there, 9 o'clock in the morning, and you can just check it out there.
And we've got a brand new series, like we said. So before we get to the small group questions at the end of this video, We want to get you excited. So here's a teaser trailer, if you will, a bumper video for a brand new series, This or That.